Day two, opening day two. Jay Smooth, Chief is fired up again. How's everybody doing today? What's up, man?
Yo, good to be back as always. It was a fun first day. I got a little carried away on parlays, but you want to know what? Who doesn't? Lesson to be learned early in the season. We're gonna, do what we do. But I had a good day on straight picks, 4-1. Very excited about the MLB season. Was pretty spot on hitters struggling, on underdogs doing well. 10-4 for underdogs and unders yesterday. Successful day. I imagine that continues the first couple weeks, maybe eases off in how profitable it was, but expecting these unders and these hitters to continue to have problems.
Definitely agree with that. My big highlight was the Astros. Not sure how they weren't favored in the game. Loved them in that spot. Big overvalue on Ohtani. Ohtani was great, frankly, in that game. So it'll be interesting to see if we get to continue to bet against the Angels at this point when they have Ohtani on the mound for sure, and then just a healthy lineup with those big three at the top. They do have a really, really strong big three, but will be interesting to go against them. What do we have? 10 games today on the slate?
Yeah, it's a big day. We got a little bit more action on the slate. I'm just firing off a really quick tweet, and then we can get started. I mean, what do you want to just go chronologically? I know that the Yankees and the White Sox both start in a little less than 2 hours. What are your thoughts on those games?
Yeah, we'll hit those early games. You can pull up the Sims after you send a tweet, and we'll look at them. But there's some line movement in this Yankee game, right? This is a postponed game, and now it's happening today. And we've seen a pretty good amount of line movement in this one. No value really from the sim standpoint is on my lines. Again, these are mine, not necessarily where Justin might be on a game. I make the true line in this one 158, so I want to see exactly where it's settled in right now. But I want to say that the Boston side is approaching that number, which is at least encouraging. So that's certainly where I would lean is on the underdog at this point. Do you have any lean play thoughts on this one?
I'm going to go – this is going to be one of my, favorite picks of the day. I'm fading the Yankees. If you saw my tweet, Yankees have been legitimately terrible in the last year. In day games, they just couldn't get big hits. They have not been able to come up in the big spots with day games. I don't know if they're going to be able to break out of that slump. I think there's obviously a Garrett Cole tax today on top of the Yankee tax. It's usually profitable to fade this team. And opening with a loss would be about the most Yankee thing ever with Garrett Cole on the mound. The plus 155 at DraftKings is a really nice line. I mean, not only your Sims obviously have it a little bit differently, but it's still not bad. I still don't hate the plus 155. You're getting pretty close to true line value. Usually it should probably be like 148, 145-ish is expected based on your Sims. So I don't hate the 10 cents of value on the DraftKings line. I do have a small same game parlay on it. I'll share it really, really quickly, and let me just pull it up. We're gonna take the Red Sox plus 2.5 runs, the game to stay under 10.5 runs, and neither team to score 7. I think the under is probably the play again here today. The VMI numbers across the league are not pretty today. A lot of -8s.
A lot of negative on the VMI, and we might do a separate episode just on VMI because we're going to reference that a lot. We might do a standalone video quick video that explains that. Let's talk about no run first inning and how that did yesterday. 6-1. My question to you is, we lean a little under. Obviously, 2 good pitchers on the mound here in this one. Where do you lean on first run inning?
I like it here today. I don't know the odds. It obviously depends on the odds. I think it is probably, a pretty smart play given Garrett Cole should lock it down for the Yankees. Evaldi, he worries me a bit, but he did have a good season against the Yankees last year. I don't hate it. Pulling up the
minus
odds.
125 on MGM. I don't have DraftKings logged in or FanDuel, but those are
for no run. That's the no run.
No run is minus 125. Yes run is even money.
Wow. I kind of think that you maybe want that yes run today. Over is plus 100 on DraftKings. Under is under 1 run in the first inning is minus 130. So they got decent numbers. I'd go play the over anywhere else, play the under on DraftKings. I'm not touching it though. I'm not touching it. There's just, we talked about it a lot last season, right? How this is the best 6 hitters in the game, essentially. And
it's
the
really only time in the game we were guaranteed to see the best 6 hitters at the plate.
Yes, thank you. We said that a lot last year, and we're going to say it a lot this year. It has to be a pretty special case for me. Today is not one of those cases. I got that nice boost yesterday. I would probably lean yes based on the odds. I just don't. I'm going to be trying really, really hard to keep my average line of like less than -105 this season. That's just my goal, because it hurt me last season. My average line was like -120, like a rookie mistake, taking too many favorites. You want to keep that line even closer to plus money if you can. Then you just go 50-50 and you win money. That's great. So, I'm not touching a -130 for a first inning play today.
Yeah, if you had to play it, it would probably be MGM where it's -125. But no, so Jason's asking this question. We'll hit it quickly. No, we're actually saying we don't. I play more yes run first innings than no run first innings personally.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely you want the yes. It's more likely than not. People think it's a no because you have like the pitcher just getting started. But if anything, like pitchers can have trouble settling into games. A lot of times second and third innings can be a lot easier for pitchers than the first inning. Again, best hitters all up with a promise of that. But all right, let's not spend too much time on one game. Let's get into this White Sox and Detroit Tigers game today. White Sox going to Detroit. It's Giolito against the newly acquired Eduardo Rodriguez. Giolito's a monster. Last season, he was in the top 20% of hard hit percent, expected weighted WOBA, I don't even know. Expected ERA, all these K rate, all whiff percentage, all in the top 20% of baseball. I know you have a play here. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I have a play here. It's always interesting. Look, the White Sox lineup is a little watered down here on their opening day.
Yeah, Noah Anderson, right?
Right. So it definitely impacts them, but they're not players that impact the line, 35 cents like Tatis does or Mike Trout, for example. They are impactful, but they're not massively impactful. There was no value on this initially. Now it looks like that Detroit has taken enough action where this line's come down to -130 on the White Sox. At least that's what I'm seeing. You might even see a -125 by the time first pitch rolls around. Yeah. At that point, at -125, I would be more interested again, as my number makes it -139. But the source of my edge on this one was the first 5 on the run line. The first 5 money lines are sitting around -140. The run line, you can find it up to +110. I locked it in at +106. But that's where I had the biggest source of the edge there, was going to be on the first 5 run line, -0.5 a run, +106. Again, +110 is available as well. Gave that out on the early edge this morning. That is my favorite play in this game.
Very interesting comment there in the chat about Giolito's day-night splits. Not wrong. 4.3 ERA night games in 12 decisions, 8 decisions during the daytime, 35 more innings, 3.01 ERA, sub-1 whip during the nighttime. Yeah, I just think this is a very interesting spot for Giolito. He did have a pretty good start to the year last year. I'm just checking his April numbers for last season. Oh, actually, I'm totally wrong. He had a bad start to the season, and then he really whipped into shape. He gave up 16 earned runs in April of last year. I don't know. I think those things normally regress to the mean or progress to the mean. I like him to have a decent outing. This is not a tough battle here to start the year. He did start the year last year in a much a little bit of a stickier scenario. No pun intended with Spider Tack, but he did get kind of lit up by the Red Sox for 7 innings in a game. But he did start the year pretty well. I expect him to go 5 innings today. Probably can strike out 6 or 7. He is elite strikeout stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely elite strikeout stuff. We'll see what happens on it. But that's my position on the game. I will note that I have not played the money line for them yet. It's approaching territory, but generally we don't love situations where it approaches territory where we have strong movement the other way that forces it into a value situation.
Yep.
So I'll potentially watch it and definitely want to have your eye on for live betting, but I'm not planning to play them on the money line.
I'm playing the money line in the first 5. I know you have the run line. You're taking that actual thing, but I'm going to pay for the push condition. I think there's a decent shot at it today. So I'll pay the 35 cents minus 135 for the money line there. It's my most expensive play of the year so far. We'll see how it goes. But then I'm also gonna. DraftKings has these interesting like preset parlays, and if you try to parlay the White Sox money line with like the under today, it comes up to 245, but their presets plus 285. So they're almost like handing you a couple extra cents to take this parlay. I already lean that way. I'm throwing a little bit on that one too, a little smaller there, but it's plus 280. I mean, what am I going to do? Say no? So we put 0.1 units on the combo parlay today. So should be interesting. A lot of day baseball. We love day baseball. So gonna be a lot of plays.
Love the day baseball. Another day game, Wrigley. Interesting spot here for the Cubs and the Brewers. Brandon Woodruff, Justin Steele. I know Justin Steele is not good. I was a little surprised at this number, although I guess I shouldn't be because I didn't really love the Brewers yesterday either. But I was fully expecting the sim number with Woodruff on the mound to come in a little higher than it is. Kind of nice to see the market agreeing, other than it doesn't allow me to play the game. What are your thoughts on like Woodruff versus Steele and the current lineups here? Woodruff being minus 150.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it. Woodruff is definitely going to be a pitcher who's going to benefit from today's conditions. So again, it is a big day in terms of players getting acclimated to this weather, right? They were down in spring training, hanging out in Florida, hanging out in Arizona, warm weather, favorable hitting conditions in those places during this time of the year. At least compared to what we're getting right now, going to the cold of Chicago, where the air is still going to be pretty dense. I think this is going to benefit Woodruff a lot more than it benefits Steele. It's also going to be a wind blowing in day at Wrigley, minus 14% according to Ballpark Pal on home run rates. Yeah, I just think this is going to be kind of tough for both teams. I like, the under here. Again, we hit it yesterday. It was at like 10 and it came down to 9 and it pushed to close. I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen again today. I think Brandon Woodruff is going to succeed a lot in this air density, in this VMI situation. I like the Brewers. I think the price is justified. A couple plays on them in the premium channel today. So a little same game parlay plus 165. I think they just keep the lead wire to wire.
Yeah, it's a miserable game to play in today for sure. Yesterday wasn't super fun. Today's way worse. It's colder. Worse. The wind is the complete opposite direction blowing in off the lake. It's not fun at all. Having said that, it's still not fun to pitch in either. It's fun to pitch in if you've got your right stuff, but if you're not, it's still very uncomfortable out there on the mound.
So it's going to be very. Yeah, Justin Steele has never pitched in conditions like this. I don't know if that means anything to anyone, but if you think he's shaky, this could be some hard stuff to throw in today. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be an interesting game, especially middle of the day, kind of chilly, and windy Chicago. But all right, let's not spend any longer. What's the next game on the list today?
A's and Phillies. This one is
Montas Nola.
Yeah, it's approaching the territory where you can start to think about betting the dog, the road dog for me. The A's project a lot like the Royals and the Cubs this year. Three teams that the consensus is under on team totals, win totals, right? Unders, fading them. You're going to find pretty interesting opportunities here in terms of betting on teams like this throughout the year. And I do think that the A's are in a spot like that today. It's difficult to go pitch on the road, but it's one of those spots in the cooler weather early in the year. I don't mind Frankie Montas in this spot. Tell me I'm completely wrong if you want to. I haven't played it yet. I don't think there's any reason for plays like this to lock in necessarily early, because I do expect all that line movement to continue to move in the direction of the Phillies on game days like this. But tell me your thoughts on it.
Oh, man. I agree. My issue with this A's team is the offense, not the pitching. They just don't. I don't think they have enough to get like the runs to where you expect them to go. I would imagine that just like blindly taking their team total unders for the year ends up doing decently, probably in the first 5, especially as they face starters. That's probably how I might end up playing this game. I haven't made an official play on this game yet, but I would lean fading the Oakland A's offense rather than, like you said, Montas isn't terrible. Philly's bullpen is a little annoying, so they could blow a late lead. I would look to target a weak A's offense in the first 5 innings against Nola, who should be able to mow him down. He has a lot of swing and miss stuff, man. He should have a good day. I don't hate his Ks. Again, depends on the number. He probably gets a 6 or 7 today. If it's at 7.5, I'd stay away. But yeah, I think this is probably a good result for the Phillies in the first 5. And I don't trust their bullpen as far as I can throw them. So stay off of the full game there. Probably good value on the A's because they could blow it late. Live bet on the A's if they're down 3 runs in the 5th or the 6th inning isn't terrible. Yeah, Philly bullpen to blow it is always a fun bet. Probably results in good money over the year. They have good starting pitching, bad relieving pitching.
Yeah. Next game is going to be more of the same for me. Underdog's sitting right on the true line. Going to be value long-term and taking every underdog in this situation.
Yep. Good 10 cents here isn't going to kill you, 10, 15 cents, depending on your book. I really like this. John Means isn't bad. Just jumped to plus 175 on DraftKings, Mike.
Yeah, I know. I'm very interested in it. So Means has been decent, good pitching environment for him overall. Obviously not taking advantage of the weather, just the actual park factor in general. Yep. McClanahan is super interesting, right? So super interesting for him. He obviously possesses some ridiculous strikeout upside in some situations, but when he gets hit pretty hard. They
barrel him up when they find that fastball.
Exactly. He is one of the worst about getting barreled up. Rated 87th in Major League Baseball last year, getting barreled up in 7% of plate appearances. That is a ridiculous number. It's absolutely absurd. So
it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's crazy. Yeah.
It's a lot. So, like some of the better pitchers, like Woodruff, we talked about. Alcantara's pitching today. Who are the others? That Giolito and Rodriguez. They're all going to be less than 4%, and he's basically getting up twice as often as a lot of these other pitchers that he's basically priced as today.
Yep. I mean, I think that again we have a slightly less negative VMI. We're looking at around -4 for Baltimore on the road, -2.5 for Tampa Bay at home. What that means here is that I think that Means is actually going to benefit very well from this. He throws a lot of 4-seam fastballs and changeups, mixes in the slider and the curve a little bit. I think this is going to really help that slider today more than it's going to help that curve. If he can get that slider working early in the game, I think he can pitch well. It's going to be interesting for McClanahan. Again, I don't really think it's weather factors with him. It's literally how he's throwing. But yeah, I don't hate taking those Baltimore Orioles. It is a good pitching park. Maybe looking at Means to have a good performance in terms of like Ks or earned runs allowed, or maybe a first 5 under is a good play there. But I think this is probably a low scoring one for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely the way that I would lean.
Getting barreled up normally refers to a ball being launched at a very specific angle, so it would be through the air, technically. Like it has to do with like that sweet spot on the bat where it just gets launched. You're talking about normally getting either like a hard hit line out, like right to a glove, or if it's like 3 degrees over, you're going to get a double type of hit. Right?
And to give you a little context to that as well. Another metric you guys might understand better, talking about average exit velocity allowed. So the average exit velocity of the balls that were hit off of him, he was the worst pitcher in Major League Baseball in terms of that. Average exit velocity, 92 miles per hour. That's a very high average exit velocity.
Sounds like he hangs pitches. Sounds like he hangs pitches when he gets beat. Like his breaking stuff definitely hangs. And the problem with that is that like if you do that, you're throwing like a mid-80s slider that has no movement. Yeah, you're going to get clocked. So that might happen. And this Baltimore team is young, here to have fun, and is playing loose baseball. Like they might be able to do it. I don't think there's pressure on this team, which helps a lot. A lot of young guys. There we go. Eric with the nice explainer from our friends over at Baseball Savant, one of the best baseball sites in the internet. Love that site. But all right, let's keep moving. We've gotten a good pace here today. Walker Buehler is getting the ball for the Dodgers against Kyle Friedland. Obviously, you're going to get a heavy number here. Walker Buehler, one of the best young arms in the game. Man, I don't know. The Rockies at home are probably a good bet. I hate to say it, but you are getting the proper value on the Dodgers. I don't know. Talk to me, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, this one is interesting. So, the Dodgers are obviously absolutely elite. Like they just are, right? But yeah, it's such a high variance of environment at that number. Rockies definitely are going to be more used to playing there, even though they haven't played there yet this season. I don't know. I haven't played it yet. It could be an in-game situation for me.
Okay.
Ideal scenario here would be Rockies take a 1-0 lead on like a solo home run or something. That would be a super ideal situation for me personally. Kind of interested in the total. Total sitting at 11. I still don't mind taking the over in this spot.
I don't.
I have a little bit of an edge on it. It's unusually warm still for Colorado. Like
65 degrees.
That's pretty good in April.
No, that's really warm. The VMI, Mike, are plus 15 and plus 13 and a half. The average VMI this game for the teams is plus 14. Walker Buehler in this type of like scenario, his hit percentage goes up so much. His fastball jumps from a 5.66 hit percent per strike to a 11.26. He's going to have trouble. Now, Kyle Friedland might be used to pitching here. I don't know. I'm probably staying off this one. Got to see how Buehler does in this. It would not surprise me to see Colorado take a game off the Rockies. Sorry,
for sure.
Colorado take a game off the Dodgers to open the season and just defy everybody's expectations. Money line bettors in the whole 2.2 units. I think a sprinkle on the Dodgers is smart. On the I can't keep these teams straight. Yeah, this isn't crazy. This is not crazy, Rex. That is not a crazy bet at all. There's going to be good odds on that. Dodgers to win by 2 runs. I mean, I literally can't speak today, Mike. Rockies minus 1.5 is a nice line.
Yeah, you're going to find that around plus 350 in the market, it's definitely a fair number. I'm not playing anything pregame on it, but definitely one to watch. I would love to see live totals on this. That's where my interest will be. Is live totals, much like the weather game at Wrigley yesterday. Same thing here.
The only issue is Buehler. Like, he could come out and he could be that good and lock it down. Now, I think maybe an interesting way to play it before the game, if you really want to pick, is go ahead and get the Dodgers team total. That could only go up. Like, that I think has a real chance to only go up. So I don't know. What's your thought on that? Their team total is 6.5 minus 125 to go over on DraftKings. That is not pretty.
Yeah, no, I have no interest. I would play the full total on the game now, or I would wait and play an in-game total. That's the way I would handle it. Or take like Rex here, alternate run lines in these high variance situations definitely have some value. Typically only Coors Fields where you're going to get to really do this with a team like this and see a number that friendly. But all the right ingredients are there for producing enough runs to make it happen. Where I see other people doing it and they're like, want to try this at Petco or some other place like that. I'm less interested in those situations. So,
interesting. Yeah. Before we get to the next one, interesting play here is the first scoring play to be 2 runs is plus 350. That's so interesting in a place like this because a single and all of a sudden you get a ball lifted out, like you got a 2-run home run to open the game. Wouldn't shock me. But all right, let's keep pressing onwards. Sandy Alcantara is getting the
Wait. We're skipping the one I want to talk about.
Oh, shit.
Seattle,
Robbie Ray.
Yeah. 2 teams that, building, right? And Robbie Ray in Seattle on the road here. My simulations lean a little bit towards Seattle. The market does not agree with me. The market has definitely been buying on Minnesota this morning pretty heavily. Mine's kind of flipped. They're up to like minus 118 in some spots. We're starting to show a little value at the minus 108 for me on Minnesota, where you can find plus 105s in the market. This is a 3:10 afternoon game, and what we see in the market is we see like especially day games in baseball, we see a ton of steam chasing. So it's very clear that there's some group out there that wants to bet the Twins, and we're seeing a lot of people follow that. So my guess is we will be able to find Seattle up in the plus 110 range by the time this game actually starts. At that point, I'll have some interest, probably a quarter unit play for me. Do you like Seattle? Do you hate Seattle? What do you think about Seattle or Minnesota?
I think everybody's a little worried about Robbie Ray this year coming off of the Cy Young. He just could easily regress back to that guy who just gives up too many home runs. Will pitching in Seattle help him a lot this year? Probably, right? It's one of the better pitcher parks in the country. But I don't know. Joe Ryan is definitely a wild card right now. 25-year-old pitcher has like 3 decisions to his name, 5 games started, 26 innings pitched, 30 strikeouts, under a .8 whip. I mean, he's nice, but there's a lot of unknowns in this game. Probably not touching it for me. I don't really see any reason to go out there and try to make a guess at a game where we have like new pitchers, new teams. Yeah, I think if you're looking at it again, maybe an under. This is another game where you have -10 VMIs on both sides, so the hitters might struggle. Probably the under 8 or maybe a live under if they get some runs in early somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, I disagree on the underplay personally. I'm leaning over pretty hard on this one. This one profiles to me though as a live over. I don't know if you guys can hear the wind. It's like a massive tornado out here. Sorry about that if you can't. I lean over on the live line here. So my hope is that Roy and Ryan lock it down on the first 2 to 3 innings, the first trip through the order. After that, I do project both players to be able to get hit up the second and third time through the order. I think this is a very interesting case if we get that live number down to 5.5 at some point in this game. I do expect some runs, and I do expect both players to be able to get hit up. There's a number of powerful right-handed bats in the Minnesota side, which definitely contradicts my simulation liking Seattle a little bit here. But yeah, I'm interested in Seattle a little bit as they begin to become plus money dog here. And then I'm interested in a live over if we get things shut down pretty hard in the first 2 to 3 innings.
I'm with you. Honestly, I think that probably has like some good logic behind it. I don't really trust the bullpens on either of these teams. A lot of old guys on Seattle. I don't think they're going to try to press this year. But I don't know. I think it's going to be them and the Yankees at the very end of the season sort of battling it out for that last spot again, like we saw maybe last year. Go Yanks. They're such a mess. But anyway, I think this is going to be an interesting stay off again. I like that live play, but I just think the batters are just going to have too much trouble. We saw how potent these VMI numbers turned out to be yesterday on these unders. I don't hate the blind unders again, except stay away from Colorado, obviously. But yeah, the VMI unders look to be doing really well. But let's keep moving forward. What do we got next? We got what I tried to skip to, which is the Miami versus the Giants.
Yep, love this game. Fascinated by it.
Tell me why, Mike.
I love it because the consensus is that Logan Webb is the better pitcher in the game, and I don't think that that's true.
I agree.
Sandy Alcantara is, in my opinion, a slightly better pitcher. I shouldn't say it's like a massive difference. I actually make both guys top 15 pitchers in Major League Baseball right now. That is how high I am on both of them. But I love
Alcantara is amazing.
What's that?
Sandy is an incredible pitcher. He's young. He is going to be just amazing. He's a reverse pitcher too. So he's actually better against teams that are seeing the ball well because his pitch style is so different than what normal guys throw. So he doesn't have the advantage that he does mid-season when you see normal pitchers with their normal stuff. And then you have to face Sandy Alcantara and you're like, what the heck? He might actually struggle today. I mean, I know that's a bold prediction, but I wouldn't be shocked to see him struggle today.
Yeah, like I said, I know a lot of people like the Giants. I definitely don't have the value to get there. Look, I respect the people that like them. I get it. The Giants are playing at home. They're still a better team and should be a better team. Webb has been great. I'm looking at first 5 under in this game, but I'm also still leaning on the first 5 Marlins money line, depending on what kind of movement we see. The first 5 money line on the Giants is ballooned all the way to minus 155, which I think is a little absurd, personally. So that's where I'm at on it. I'm just fascinated to watch this game, but I definitely lean under for the game, lean under 4 for the first 5 innings, and we'll definitely be watching this game, looking for
Where are you finding the best line on this? Because DraftKings under 4 minus 125 is, I don't really want to play that.
It's under 4 minus 110 on MGM. Yeah, DraftKings has horrible lines in baseball typically.
It's pretty nuts how bad. I mean, you can find, like, again, if you're going the other way on some of them, you can get decent odds, right? Like if you take the over plus 105, that's not bad.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, besides the sharp sides, they're usually coloring to the sharp sides on DraftKings. What up, DraftKings? Thanks for watching the show. I think that's a good play there. Under 7.5, even maybe if they get some scoring and immediately going on a live under there, should be solid. Both these teams do have really nice pitching staffs down to the bullpens. I love Miami's ability to develop pitching. I am very excited. I just drafted Yuri Perez in my dynasty league. I think he's going to be a top pitching prospect name within the next 6 months. Very excited about him. Another guy being compared to Josh Beckett and Jose Fernandez. So I expect Miami to have another ace in a year or two. All right, Scherzer's starting against Josiah Gray for the Mets. What do we got here?
Yeah, interesting one. I got a little tiny bit of value on the Mets, believe it or not. So, I mean, I don't know why it's that hard to believe. They are projecting to be one of the better teams. Obviously, they've got this situation here for Max back in what should be a very comfortable environment for him overall.
I mean,
just obviously he's been there. But then the other, let's see. What was I going to say on this one?
Another bad VMI situation. -6 on both sides should help the pitchers. Again, under 9, if you can find it, probably is pretty nice.
And that's exactly what I was looking at as the total. I do lean towards the under in it as well. The Gray is typically the wild card here for me, but I do kind of like the first 5 under as well because I do expect Scherzer to shut him down early. What do you guys think, though? What do you think?
I'm probably going to play that first 5 under. I mean, the Mets ended up getting some runs in last night. They really had the chance. On those sprinkles that we talked about, I said that over 2.5 first 5 total for the Mets against Corbin, and he looked like Corbin himself in those late innings before he got pulled. But man, we could not get that 3rd run home. We hit the over 4.5. Almost got both. I think they take a little bit of a seat today to Josiah Gray. He's a little bit better than Patrick Corbin. I don't think that is much of a stretch. Again, and it's going to be interesting today. 71.4 air density in Washington for this day game. VMI's -5s for both. It's going to help Scherzer. He is a big fastball slider guy. It's going to drop his ability to get. It's going to drop the ability for hitters to see the slider. But he should be able to blow the fastball by 2. I'm interested in this game. I think that under is pretty nice. And the Mets probably win again. Just going to go ahead and put it out there. The only run that the Nationals got was a Juan Soto dinger. I don't know if you saw that bomb. He laced that thing into the second deck. But Nelson Cruz couldn't get a dang hit, and we missed our parlay there. But anyway, I like the under there for sure. Under 9 is probably where I would pay the -115, maybe even -120 to get that push condition at 9.
Don't mind it. It's an interesting parlay that Jason threw out there, actually. Mets +1.5 and under 4.5 in the first 5 innings. Back at 130. The reason I don't mind it, these are typically bets that we wouldn't recommend playing, but with Scherzer on the mound and liking that position on the under 4.5, I lean there. Obviously, you're exposed to the Mets offense doing a lot of damage still, but I do lean on it at +130.
I still think they're overrated, so I'm okay with it. Under 8.5 is plus money where I am on my local book. I don't hate that. I just have a hard time. I really want 9. I really want that 9. 8, it's probably going to finish at 9. I would not be surprised if this is a 6-3 game. But yeah, I think the first half money line is the better bet. But yeah, all right, let's keep moving. I know we said we were going to try not to keep the show too long, but it's so easy to talk about a full slate. Next game up is this Cincinnati game against Atlanta. Does Atlanta bounce back?
You're skipping another one, buddy. Here, let's go Texas and Toronto. Got to talk about Toronto. I actually have slight
John Gray, Josiah Gray. I just saw Gray and I skipped it, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But all right, let's go with this Jose Barrios first game here for Toronto, right?
Yep. Love the spot. Love the Blue Jays. Yeah, not much else to say about it. There's slight model value, slight lean on the under. Don't feel great about it, but love this Blue Jays lineup. Minus 187 is where I make the number. You can find it minus 170-ish in the market still. So
this is that home game for them. I mean, it should be a nice day to hit in Toronto. Better than you might expect. Yeah, the VMI numbers probably aren't going to be very pretty, but they're better than most of the league, minus 271 and minus 1 for Toronto. I wouldn't be shocked to get a little bit of a slugfest here today. John Gray, coming from that Rockies team, he does have good stuff, but I don't know. These teams have sneaky offenses this year. Toronto might be the best offense in the league, and you're giving me a 9. I think Toronto gets this one done. Minus 170 is steep. But
it's minus 160 on Caesars right now, which is a good 15 cents off of some of the other books, MGM, DraftKings, etc. If you like it, I would definitely play it at Caesars.
I think that this Rangers, these teams, the first half over could be interesting. Or even the yes run first inning here is minus 120 for a reason. I mean, over 2 runs in the first inning is plus 210. I know that's crazy, but over 1.5 plus 210 on DraftKings is not bad. I don't know. I think Jose Barrios probably ends up getting this win. Blue Jays over 4.5 or Texas Rangers over 3.5, both the way I would lean. But they're juiced to hell. That's the only problem. So I'd probably stay away. I don't really want to drink juice this baseball season, guys. I just don't want to drink the juice.
All right, moving on. Reds and Braves here. Identical situation to the A's. Identical situation to the Cubs, really. Identical situation to the Baltimore Orioles. Long term, you're going to find a lot of value taking the dog in these matchups. Not a lot to say about it. I make the line 167. Slightly overvalued in the market on their home field. You have anything to say about it with Charlie Morton on the mound? I make it minus 167.
I mean, obviously there's really not much that we can talk about with this Reds pitcher because there's no data. I think the Braves bounce back. Starting 0-2, dropping both these games against the Reds seems a little tough. A lot of air density, a lot of bad 80, a lot of bad VMI numbers again, but obviously there's literally reverse San Martin has no pitches in the majors. Morton is a pitcher where he's better against in a high ADI, high VMI situation. I think Morton should thrive here today. He has 2 fastballs. He throws the 2-seamer and the 4-seamer, and then he mixes in that curve. I think the 4-seam fastball is going to be pretty effective today. 2-seam should be very effective today as well. I expect him to be able to blow it by the Reds hitters. If he cannot early, jump on the Reds. That's all I'll say. If Morton's fastball doesn't look good, go get the Reds live. That's it. That's about it.
All right. Houston, same story. Run it back.
Run it back. Okay.
Basically, I don't feel as good about Odorizzi on the mound, but Model's going to show some value here. LA is going to be overvalued anytime they're playing at home with Ohtani, Trout, and Rendon in the lineup, at least early in the season. How bad is the Angels pitching staff, in my opinion, still, that Reed is their day 2 starter here in a division series? I think it's pretty gross. Look, he's fine. There's nothing he's definitely major league quality, but to say that he's number 2 starter on a team that has 2 of the top 3 players in Major League Baseball on the team, probably, pretty gross.
It's another hot day in LA, 87 degrees. Going to be very interesting to see how these pitchers do. I have Patrick Sandoval showing up. Is Reed Detmers opening for Patrick Sandoval? Is that potential of what's going on here? So he already got pushed.
He already got pushed? Okay.
He's young. Okay, so this is like a spot start for Reed. Oh man. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust either of these pitchers. I think the over probably has legs because of that. It's a nice day to hit in LA, and the offense could come out. I don't know.
Nice day to hit in LA. The market's definitely reflecting that though at 9.5.
Yes.
This is, unless this is a line. I mean, I know the weather is great, but this is a line at this stadium that you would still see in July, essentially. I personally think it's inflated in the market a little bit. I do have a healthy 9.3, so there's not really anywhere that you're going to be able to attack it. Even at 9, I wouldn't love it personally, so I'm staying off of it. Could be a very interesting live total though, as well. One of those situations where they could have some success the first trip through the order and not so much the second. Yeah, it's wild to me still. I think that they're inflated. That Reed Detmers is on the mound, and the Angels are still favored in the game.
It's a little difficult here to get a grip on this one. Yeah, I think people are very worried about Jake Odorizzi. He has not looked his best in the last year or so. I'm staying off that team. That first half total at 5 is perfect. 4.5, I think you maybe touch it, but 5 with the juice in some spots. No thanks. No real feel here for me. I might be able to squeak something out later. I'll probably be looking for some afternoon plays. I'm really only done with my evening plays. Sorry, I'm only done with my afternoon plays. Probably still going to have a little bit. Wait, I'm into the next day already. Okay, wow.
I got to comment on the Houston game quickly still too.
Sure.
My number at 114 is like very conservative from what I've seen. I'm seeing other models that make this all the way up to minus 150, minus 155 for Houston.
Wow.
Either way, though, you could still find them plus 110 in the market.
I'll take that plus 110 for a play. I'll put it up on the sheet in a minute. But yeah, I'll go with Houston today. Let's go. Money line plus 110 should be fun. Sean Manaea, Merrill Kelly to end it off here with San Diego and Arizona. We saw a walk-off 3-run blast last night while I was asleep, but of course my first odds checker play couldn't get home because Luke Voigt could not do anything more than walk in against what's his name, Bumgarner, who looks terrible, by the way. Cannot wait for the next Bumgarner game. Like that's going to be fun. He walked 4 batters, got 2 lucky outs. He does not have much. He was sitting at 91 miles an hour on his fastball. I can't wait for him to play like a team that has a good player in it. This is still no Tatis for San Diego, which is a big chunk of their roster's power. I like the over though. I might go right back to it, Mike. You have 9.5 almost. It's 9. Any thoughts there? Do you think that should be another good hitting condition day here in the desert for Arizona? I thought it should have hit yesterday. We had 21 base runners, 14 walks, could only muster 6 runs. I think it probably comes back around. Any thoughts?
I don't mind it. I don't love this Arizona lineup against the lefty here. Manaea is ultra high variance. He can be absolutely lights out. We'll see in his first start with the new team here. I wanted to say that I could back the over. I have a lean there as the total is sitting at 9 in the market for the most part. But
yeah,
the strength of the Diamondbacks lineup against left-handed pitching right now is not great. So I'm staying away from this game completely, personally. We'll watch and see what kind of movement we have. Maybe a late-night DGen special on a live bet, but other than that, I don't anticipate to play anything here unless it's late night waiting for Formula One qualifying at midnight.
Yeah, I mean, look, it does have some of the best weather of the day. Runs and extra base hits are expected to be boosted. Ball should carry a little bit. I don't know. I think I might go back to it. I might throw a play on it now before it gets. I think it could close at 9.5. I do think it could. So let's see. Probably hits my sheet tonight. I don't feel as strong about this slate as I do yesterday. Yesterday I felt like it was pretty easy to read. Today feels a little bit more difficult. But we definitely do have first game on Apple TV. That's interesting. But yeah, should be a good day. 10 games, very exciting. I know we have another big day tomorrow. Are we running the show Saturdays, or do you think we're just going to do weekdays, Mike?
I think we're going to do weekdays for now. We could have some Saturday stuff at some point, but we're going to go weekdays only for now.
Sweet. Well, another good day on the diamond. We'll see you all tomorrow on Monday for Market Movers. Thank you very much for
see you guys on Monday. See you on the Discord here in a few minutes. Drop the link over there. By the way, I'll mention it now because we haven't yet. You can still subscribe for free on Twitch if you have Amazon Prime. If you do not, or you don't want to mess with it, you can now join on YouTube, which is a lot easier. There's a join button somewhere here on the channel. Click that, subscribe. There's a post that shows you exactly how to do it. And for those of you that have had trouble linking to the Discord, we've had a lot more success with people linking through YouTube. It goes much more smoothly. And with that, we will see you Monday.